All right. Perfecto. Chillaxin. Welcome to Saturday Night Live, folks. Sort of becoming a regular thing now, isn't it? Let me get on here. And we're muted. Who's bored? Who's doing what on a Friday night? Saturday night. Dilly dilly. I could just be sitting here by myself for like 30 minutes. But I chose to come on, see if anybody has any aquarium questions. I have a filter I'd love to talk about. What's up, Epic Aquariums? How's it going, brother? Yeah, it was good. I had a good day today. Star Wars marathon with one of my kids. Fire all day long. Got all the laundry done. And did nothing for fish tank maintenance besides walk around constantly and just look at my fish tanks. What's up, Keith? How you doing? Loving my this new MacBook Air. Really makes live streaming way easier. I can just do it from my phone like I've always done. Get bored, fire up the phone, fire up my little mini laptop here. Good to go. All set. AirPods. You'd think I should be an Apple sponsor or something. What's my thoughts on matte filters versus sponge filters? I've never really done a matte filter, but I do like sponge filters for sort of like tanks that you really don't care about. Like they're a grow out tank or a quarantine tank, or you're breeding fish and you can just rinse out the sponge filter. But as far as like a display tank, I don't like them at all. I know they agitate the surface, but they look like crap back there. They collect a bunch of gunk. Even if you hide them with plants and stuff, when you rip them out, they just like release all the detritus that they've been collecting all over the tank anyway. It's like makes your water change 10 times worse. So that's what I think about sponge filters. Yep, family is all in well so far. My wife's working tonight again. She's got last night, tonight, tomorrow night. That's why I'm doing another QT and fish, hoping people are bored at home. They hop on. We can chat. Everybody can ask questions. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm trying to do it in front of a different tank or like a different view every time I go on. But, it is what it is. I don't know. Is the like button broken? Who's not hitting that like button? Like? Oh, I just liked my own video. Is that even possible? Freaker by the speaker. What's up? Yeah, it keeps falling down. Long time ago in the 90s, early 90s when I was a deadhead, I collected so much shit. I'm still wearing my Grateful Dead belt to the day, 20 something years later. I'll wear it to a funeral, a wedding, fancy dinner party. I don't care. It's the only belt I wear. So Blake B, how's it going? Who's got aquarium questions? If not, I'll just start talking about this filter that I love. I forgot I had on the shelf as a backup, and I'm like going through my stuff today. I'm like, hey, oh my god, good thing I have that. Oh, there is a reason why I bought that, just in case my one fails. That has never failed ever. Knock on wood back here. Did I ever struggle with a lot of salt creep from your Aqua 70? No, never. A tiny bit on the front, as to be expected with like the surface agitation and the splash up. But other than that, no salt creep at all. A lot of people deal with a lot of salt creep. I haven't done any research. I think I might have watched a video and caught a glimpse of it, maybe like Reef Dudes or Aaron's Aquariums or something that it's like an excessive bit of mag or calcium. I don't know, that creates the salt creep, but it's there. I know, like in all my saltwater tanks, but I don't know exactly what causes it. Besides the fact that the water is, evaporating and your salt is left behind. So if you're splashing a lot with pumps and stuff, I can see salt creep gathering around where like the water is jumping out. You know what I mean? No, it won't suck. Do it. Oh, I'll have to go check it out. Key says, due to crap water quality, I am forced to use RO. What do you recommend to stabilize the cage? I have no clue. What's up, Joseph? Dilly, my brother from the Southern Mother. What's up, Jay? How you doing? I don't have any words of wisdom for stabling KH. I bet you Joseph does, the mad Virgin Islands scientist. I'm sure he has a great answer. Come on, Joseph. Answer Keith. Without love in the dream, it will never come true. Well, words of wisdom. There are your words of wisdom, Keith. You guys should share the live stream because I know there's tons of people doing absolutely nothing tonight besides watching TV like I was. What else you got going on there, Jay? That's the only worst thing. I can read the comments on my phone right here. If I could just reply to them. Oh, just like that. See? Crushed coral. Yeah, that'll raise it. Raise the pH as well. Moving to move on. Sweet. You still with, what's her face? Amber? Is that her name? Sorry. You know me. My mind is... Joe's house is almost empty. Down the VI. Oh, so you're going to be right next to me. Sweet. Now we can just take a short, like 1 hour trip and just meet somewhere right there, probably. Unless you're like way towards Canada, then that's probably going to be like 4 hours. But who cares? It's not that long. If we're ever allowed to leave the house, which I hope we're not. Who's got fish questions? I'm going to start talking about this filter. Dilly, Chris. Deadhead. What's up, Troy? Of course. From forever. Also big Zepp fan here. My daughter always loves this shirt. It's one of the albums. And the dude's naked, but he ain't got no junk, and she's like, look at that guy. He's naked. Where's his pee-pee? It's like, well, what do you say to that? When you wear the shirt to dinner, someone's gonna say something. My daughter always says it every time. Doing a vid on staging water. What's your thoughts? Doing a 55-gallon drum. Did my first water change today, and it was nice getting rid of buckets. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, there you go, Joseph. Good for you. You've quoted a dead song. Big City Beta's lurking while she water changes. Yeah, who else does water changes on Saturday nights? This guy. Except not this Saturday night. I did all my water changes last week all day long while I was working. Every time I just bring my laptop down, I'd be like tippity tapping on the laptop and draining water and cleaning glass and boom, 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 I'm all over the place. I love this part of working from home for sure. What circulation pump for a 75-gallon? I like the Aquarium big boys. I used to have those in my 75. Those can circulate a lot. I think it's like a 450 is what it used to be called. Good stuff, for sure. How often do you clean a 10-gallon with 7 fish? As often as need be. So I always say the smaller the tank, the more often you need water changes. So like my 5-gallon spec shrimp tank, I do once a week. I think once a week is good. Your like go to for water changes. Caught J-Rad 16 times, further 28 and dead. Oh, nice. Nice, Troy. Dilly dilly, silly question. Can I inject CO2 to rapid the growth of Amazon swords? Swords. They're slow growers anyway. Usually they just like take off and you like see a bunch of leaves on Amazon swords. And then they just kind of like slow down and then they just start taking off. But CO2 is a steroid for aquatic plants. If you add CO2 to any planted tank and you can get it balanced, your plants are just going to take off like crazy, for sure. Oh, aqua balls, that sucks. BBA is the worst. I love Bolivian rams. Had a nice pair of them for years and years and years. I love Apistos as well. What's Joseph? There's no road, no simple highway. All right. Good for you. Are you Googling this now, or are you just coming through and putting the air quotes? Bastard. Yeah, no. Yep. Every night's water change night. pH is 6.1. I was wondering why isn't going down. I have a German blue ram. I mean, that should be fine. I know a lot of. I just totally denied my wife's phone call, and I lost this. Oh, there we go. Yes, as far as the 7.6 pH, I think I know Rams do need a little bit lower, but I mean, it is what it is. If they're healthy, then and they're eating, I would stick with it. I've had to tear complete tanks down for BBA. It's been a complete nightmare. Like, I'm just at the point where it's just there is no solution. Once you get BBA, it's done. I mean, maybe one tank I've saved, and still, while the tank looked very nice, there was still like tiny little pieces of BBA, like all in the like where you couldn't see them, but it was just enough to drive you crazy. Uh, it's literally the corona of fish tanks. I would say black-beard algae is COVID-19 for fish tanks. It just goes crazy. Yep, true. What should I do when my two angels start showing breeding behavior as serious, lip locking? I'll let them breed. Let them take a trip to the aquatic Funky Town. And now those plants are growing new leaves, and my Java friends are not. More fertilizer? I would always stick to more light and less fertilizer. You just want to like give the plant, in my opinion, and I'm not a friggin' scientist by any means, light, and then you dose fertilizers until you find where your plants are really starting to take off, and stop there and just keep that regimen going. Consistency, but you got to find it, and it's tough. It sucks. You have a planted tank, it could take like a year or more before your frustrations and you're just like, wow, and finally everything is growing. There's no allergy. I've got the perfect balance of CO2 and fertilizers and light. Those are your three factors. And then you have, what do you call it? Symbiosis or whatever. Thoughts on rainbow fish with discus? I think they'll probably freak the discus out. I don't keep discus, but I know they're pretty They're not like angelfish. I know they're both South American cichlids, but I think the rainbows. I've always kept rainbows with angels, no problem. Discus, they might be kind of freaked out. No QT, garlic, and what's your intake and adding fish? All right. I got ick in my system. No QT at all. Garlic and Celcom is what I got. What's your intake on that? Like, just let the nature take its course. And if you can't get Ruby Reef in the mail, which is my go-to ick med, just try to do water changes every day and just get it out of the water column, and the healthy fish will survive, and the weak will not. It's like survival of the fittest. Ever think of setting up a 75-gallon plant tank? Yes, all the time, for real. I would love to set up another 75. I've got my old 75 stand right here, ready to go. It's like in the spot in my basement where all I need to do is buy the tank and place it there. So I'm definitely thinking of that. More likely what will happen in the near future is that I will get that tank and get it cycled and put Gunther in there, because he's getting super big. Redo the 40-gallon upstairs to a new planted tank. Have fun with that. And then we'll see what Gunther does in the 75. But yes, more fish tanks for sure. I don't even know why. I mean, I love fish tanks. I can't wait to get my next fish tank. I've had fish tanks for over 30 years, so I know there's no rush in like, got to get a fish tank, then the next fish tank, and the next fish tank, and the next fish tank. Like, I've been down that road several times. I've been back, forth, back, tons of tanks, no tanks, tons of tanks, 5 tanks. Like, I've been down that road, so there's no rush in me getting any more tanks. Yes, Joe. Sarah is Mrs. Mass. She's at work. She's a nurse. She's giving me the clappity clap clap. Hopefully my wife shares. Oh, well, that came out super crazy. She's giving me the clap on the word, the thing. You know what I mean. Come on, folks. She's a nurse working tonight, and I'm home alone, and she knows I'm super bored and have nothing else to do. So I just figured I'd talk to you guys because I miss my wife. So dilly dilly. Will Robinson, what's up? How's it going, brother? Forever, man. Forever epic. Probably since I was like 12 or 13. Late would probably be the early 90s, like 89 to 90, like 91, 92, right around there. Dilly dilly tea glass. Yeah, very chill. I haven't been playing it as often. I'm still a 90s grunge alternative rock fan. It's when I grew up listening to music, the 90s. Like 90 to 2000 was my music. Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Foo Fighters, Snoop, Dr. Dre, Eminem. Like, that whole 90 to 2000 block was like my music download in my brain. So whatever I do, that's what I listen to. Tupac, Biggie, then Grateful Dead, Zeppelin, because my dad's a classic rock guy, so that's where I got all my classic rock stuff. What's up, dang tanks? Sup? Smash Mouth. Right. That's funny. Did you leave, Sarah? My wife may have a patient. Who knows? Or she may still be watching, and all her friends are making fun of me that I'm sitting in my basement having some BLs. Kids are in bed, talking to you guys. But that's what fish dorks do. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, there you go. Alice in Chains, right? Blake V. Dilly dilly to your wife and all the healthcare frontline workers. And I'm not talking about doctors and nurse. Also not talking about doctors and nurses, but mailmen and garbage men and literally everybody that has to go to the outside world every day. Dilly dilly. Because I'm in my house and my wife is at the hospital, but she also does like all the shopping. Um, Anything that we need outside the house, she takes care of. Um, and now it's pretty much like I don't even want to leave my house for anything ever. Even though I'm like very excited just to go do something, I don't even know what that is I want to do because now it's just like beyond that. Ding with Cruzy. What's up, Dilly Dilly? Who's got stuff going on here? I got this new thingy. Oh, you want me to talk about this filter? One of my favorite filters of all time ever. 155 gallon. It's front of a window. It's good for plants. It's a recipe for green water. True. Too much natural sunlight. Definitely no good for any tank because if you have natural sunlight all day, especially if you're using your lights at night, if your tank's in natural sunlight, I would recommend doing the timer to have the lights on during the day and zip at night. Me, I have all my timers on for night because usually I'm not home during the day. So I come home, I want to see the tanks like wake up. I want to look at them, see what's going on, yada, yada, yada. T-glass turned off the timer, no lights. Yeah, if it's a lot of daylight, just let the daylight do its thing. For sure. Um, what I'm going to do real quick is put this thing down. I'm going to talk about my favorite filter of all time. Because really, there was no point for this live stream other than I'm bored AF. And so here comes a filter talk. Put this right here. Talk about one of my favorite filters of all time. I've used this forever. In the box, the AquaClear 70. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I did not get this for free. I paid for this filter. Although Fluval has sponsored me with, canister filters and heaters and whole sorts of other stuff in the past. This video is not sponsored by them. I love this hang on the back more than any other filter so far. Hang on back filters, folks. Not canisters. We're not talking about sumps. We're talking about hang on back filters. The AquaClear 70 has like a super huge, nice square chamber like this, where you can drop anything you want in there. Filter floss, carbon, poly filter pads, tons of biomedia. It's huge. It's like got to be at least 8 to 10 inches deep. I don't know the dimensions. I just know that this filter right here, if you don't go buy an AquaClear hang on back 70 for your 29 gallon tanks, your 40 gallon tanks, your 55s, 40 longs, 40 breeders, I think 75 gallon and above, you could use 2 of these or a canister, but these filters run forever. They are super easy to clean. The worst part about like doing fish tank maintenance is like your tank is looking so good, and then you're like, shit, I got to clean the filter. And you're breaking stuff apart. You're, unscrewing this, taking this off. A million sponges come out. The media you don't want to rinse off, and you're doing this and you're doing that. But AquaClear 70s, these hang on backs, so easy. And you can put them on the side of the tanks. You can put them in back corners where they basically just disappear. The downspout is perfect. The intake is perfect. Really, really great filter. I can't say enough about this filter. So yeah, go buy Aqua Clears. Probably links in somewhere in my videos for Aqua Clears, but I love those ones. Love Fluval Hagen products in general, but the Aqua Clear 70 is my go-to for sure. What do we got here? All right. Blake V's like, here we go. Mr. Random. Gonna bounce around now. Yeah, I mean, it can blow for if you have floating plants for sure. Or the subwasser tank usually like just attaches itself, doesn't it? Mine does in my shrimp tank. It just like sort of blows around and then subwasser tank is like the saltwater Kenya tree. It just like grows like crazy, separates, blows around for a little while, and then gets stuck on like something, a rock, side of a glass, piece of driftwood, piece of live rock, and then it just grows and then like blows around and just like gets stuck to everything all the time. Yeah, HOBs are the best or the beast. I would consider them to be both. Got to tie it down, glue, thread, whatever you got. Got to tie it down. This is where are we at here? Oh, I gotta look at my thing. 10:43. Yeah, 10:45. I want to cut it off. So if anybody's got any more questions, I'm more than welcome to answer any questions because I'm just gonna go sit by the fire and pass out my recliner anyway and worry about my wife. So who's got questions? Anybody? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Dilly dilly? Nope, I have not, Mike. Never kept those. I do see tons of, the clams on, like, I don't watch too much YouTube anymore, but I still follow Inappropriate Reefer, and I know he's got a really cool clam. I do watch a couple saltwater channels that have clams, but you need really, really high lights as far as just like the brief moments I've watched on video. And my lights are very inexpensive. They're really good for soft coral, some LPS, very few, if not, two SPS, but I don't think my lights are high enough to have clams. I would like one. It'd be cool. I just don't feel like spending the money on these expensive lights when I can't. Well, if I'm working from home more often, maybe that will probably start happening. Mm, Aquaball's changed his motor on his aqua. Yeah. They last forever. What's the minimum temp I'm using? No heater now. It's 72, maybe 70 sometimes for Corey's. Yeah, you got to get it into the 80. 78, 82 all day. I mean, I know you can Google that, but I've always had the best, healthiest fish when the temperature remains consistent. It's tough with the water change, especially if you can't heat some of the water. Like most of my tanks, I heat the water to temp, kind of mix it at the tap. The big tank, I have to fill right from you know, the start of the water, so it's cold. So I'll take like 2 hours to fill this tank up. I'll take out like 60 gallons in, I don't know, 10 minutes for a water change, pump it right out. And then when I refill it, I'm not doing buckets. Hell no. And the Python doesn't reach way the hell up there. So I just run it from a hose over here and it's cold water straight from the street, straight from the tap. And I just pour it in really slow. I probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours to fill the tank back up after 10 minutes of taking it out. Just so the temps can, match up for that. So that's a good tip. You know, if you can't heat your water, slow it in. I'm not talking dripping, but if you have a big tank, you just, you know, you don't want to blast it with 40-degree water. What do you think? Okay, Mike, where are all your tanks? Always confused as to where you film. Yeah, seriously. And at the bell. Um, my tanks are everywhere. So right now I'm in the basement. If I look straight overhead, it's my staircase to the first floor. Right here, I've got my 135. Across from me, eyesight, across the basement, I've got my 13.5-gallon salt water. Over there on the other side of the basement, I have a really big basement. Um, I mean, I have a big house out in the woods, in the middle of the woods, folks. 40-gallon breeder over there. Upstairs in the living room, I have a 40-gallon breeder. And then upstairs in the bedroom, I have the spec on the shrimp tank. And that's where my tanks are. Funny question. Well, I wasn't even sure how to answer that question. Raphael says, I've been watching your videos for a while, ever since I was researching information to set up my first aquarium, and they have been very informative. Thank you for posting. Thank you, Raphael, for always watching. I'm glad you could learn something. Eheim, I've never had any Eheim products. Weird enough, because it's such a popular product, to have, you know, the Eheim canister filters or the Lily pipes, or, you know, heaters. They make everything, I'm sure. But I've really had great success with Fluval, Fluval, Fluval. You know, I've heard it said like a trillion different ways. I just say Fluval. I've had great experience with every Fluval product, from heaters to canister filters to hang-on back filters to legit any type of mechanical device they have. I swear by. And they're not paying me to say that. I've always had great success with Fluval, so why change? Someone might have great success with Cobalt or, you know, Eheim, wherever you're going. If it's working, just stick with it. That's like the main part of the aquarium hobby. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Don't start changing things up. That's when you throw things out of whack. Yep, good call. All right, folks. Well, it is about that time. Same thing happening again. To break forth the rhythm and the rhyme. I will end this, and I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. And I will hopefully see you for quarantine number 4 tomorrow night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. I don't know. Whenever my wife is working and I have absolutely nothing to do. So, peace out, folks. I'm out. Put this laptop down. Oh, getting old, folks. Getting old. I'm out. Ending it. Now, how do you end? Nobody knows. I can stop. I don't know. Stop. Stop.